Hey YouTube land, Taekwondo is here doing another action figure review, and today I'm doing a review of a figure series, but more importantly a figure itself that I've been looking forward to doing a review of for quite some time. Now what this figure is it's an exclusive line of figures by Bigbadtoystore. Now, initially, I don't think they started off as being exclusive to them, but they kind of worked out a deal with the crowd that designed them, and they have an exclusivity on them. And what this is the Operation Monster Force figures. Now, this is the Operation Monster Force Crimson. Let me see if I get the name right on this, if I remember correctly. It is the Crimson Sleepwalker. Or, sorry, Crimson Moon Sleepwalker, Crimson Moon Division. And this is done by the crowd of freshmonkeyfiction.com. But as you can see on the top of the box, it is a Bigbadtoystore exclusive. So I'm just going to move some of the accessories and the box aside for a moment. Or not the box, but the accessories and the figure aside for the moment. And we'll have a quick look at the box in all its glory. So bear with me a moment while I set up and we'll have a look at the box. And here is the box in all its glory. So it's a window box style packaging. You can open the front of the box with these little Velcro clips. You have a small bit of a comic book on the inside of the kind of story of this wave or this figure line. And then on the back of the box you have kind of a collect them all crash sale with all the other figures. So you have Deacon Van Helsing, Delta Red, which I think are the troopers, if I remember correctly, the Urban Operation Troopers. So they're part of an army builder. These guys are part of the army builder of the wave as well. You have Count Dracula, you have the Forgotten King, you have the Sleepwalker, the Heavy Weapons Division, which is a kind of a green version of this guy. You also have a Sleepwalker, the Obsidian, is it? The Obsidian Elite Guardsman, which is the all black red trim version of this guy. And then you have the Delta Red Nocturnal Operations Trooper, which again is another army builder and comes with kind of monster parts to swap out to give them that kind of monster look. So at the top of the box you have, flip it around the right way, you have the BBTS exclusive Monster Force stuff, and then you just have legalese on the bottom. And Big Bad Workshop is the combination of Fresh Monkey Fiction and Bigbadtoystore to kind of push these figures out, which is really cool. So enough about the box. I will throw a link in the description below to where you pre-order these and order these. Hopefully they'll be getting many more in stock and getting restocks of old stuff, because they have that kind of direct link now. But just bear in mind, for those of us here over in Europe and in Ireland specifically, you have to import these. There isn't any European distributor as far as I'm aware of for these guys, so you just have to make do with what you can get, unfortunately. So gonna pause it here, we'll bring out the figure again and we'll go through all the trimmings. Here is the figure in all its glory. Now it doesn't have his default helmet on that he comes in the box. Main reason behind that is because I'm much more of a fan of this, and I'll explain why in a minute. So he comes with a lot of little baggies behind him in the blister. You have a base for him, which you have Sleepwalker done in the Crimson. I'm assuming this is the Crimson Moon look for it. I'm pretty sure the ones for the Obsidian one is probably this in black with the lettering in black with the white outline, and the other one, the Heavy Weapons one, is probably green with a white outline. You get a plethora of extra parts. You get a whole bunch of extra hands, a whole bunch of little doodads, knickknacks, hoses, all manner of pieces for his backpack and his weapons, along with two alternate heads. So the one head that he has on at the moment is one of the alternate heads, because I'm a big fan of the Red Shadows, which is an Action Force, an old European and UK toy line called Action Force, where they reused some of the, well, they had kind of Star Wars-esque style figures, but they incorporated some of the American G.I. Joe figures into the line and called it its own thing. Here are the two heads. This is the one that you get defaulted. You get an extra gas mask head on this. From what I can figure out, these little nodules on the side of this head is removable, so if you want, you can plug hoses into them and have them connect up to the backpack. It's up to yourself. I'm not sure the ones on this one removable. Yep, these ones are removable as well, so you can actually remove these from the heads. Now the one that's currently sitting on them, you don't have that option on it, because if I bring the head around to the back, you have a plug hole here, and I'm just going to plug it in here for demonstration purposes. But you can see there's two plug holes on the back of this. So if you wanted to do something silly like that, you can plug the cables into that, and you have them like that. So all in all, you get quite a lot of cables. You get some really long cables, you get two medium length cables, and then you get two small cables. Now, if you're wondering why I don't have both of them in my hands, it's because I already have his backpack set up to the way I wanted. So he has one of those extra long cables, which I'll unplug. He has this connector piece, which is a separate piece. As I said, there's a lot of these little doodads, and there's no specific way for you to, like, there's no default way for you to connect this together. So I have all these kind of dials, knobs, whatever the hell you want to call them. There's one of the shorter cables, that's where the other one is. So it's like you have connectors as well. You have these pieces that go on to, where is it? The weapon. So you have these. You have connectors that connect the pipes together. So I know I'm doing that off screen. So you have these connector pieces. You have two of those, so you can connect them together. I like doing this for the flamethrower kind of thing, or blaster, or smaller blaster. You can do it with his other weapon. You can see there's a plug hole on the side here. So again, if you have one of those things, you can plug it in there. Or if you want, just keep it kind of plain, you can plug this thing into the side for whatever reason. It just gives an extra nodule on the side. It is only on the one side. It's not on it's on the right hand side of the gun as opposed to the left. Now, the one thing I did find is the magazine isn't removable. It would have been kind of cooler if you could remove the magazine on this and have it as like that kind of what is it, steampunk style sci-fi blaster, and have it look more like a flamethrower without a magazine on it. It would be kind of cool, but it is what it is. And then for hands, now the default hands that he comes with are not on him, so I swapped them out. He comes with a pair of fists. So comes with a left and right fist for his default in the box. You got this wide grip stance, which works quite well with this larger weapon. You can have him hold it under the handle of it. You have a trigger finger hand for left and right, and then you have a left and right grip hand. He doesn't have any sort of melee weapon like a sword or anything like that, but you can, it is there for that option that if you need, if like some of the other figures do come with like daggers and knives and stuff. So if you have some of those, he does come with that. He also comes with two of these little L-shaped bend pieces, an extender piece. I think he has two of these, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure I put one of them onto something, or I had it on something. He comes with a bunch of little, as I said, these weird doohickey things. You get one of these, you get two of these, you get two of these ones, and you get one of this one. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but he does come with those. And then for the other accessory he comes with, which is loose in the box, is this shoulder icon thing, which is a separate piece. It's actually loose in one of the bags in the set. I was blown away with how many accessories he does come with. As I said, he comes with a plethora of accessories. The backpack has a peg hole, so it can fit on his back. I'm going to put it together, and I'll put it into his hands momentarily, but I'm just going to clean up a small bit first. might leave this out and see if we can throw that into his hands just so I'm holding that weapon. I'm going to put his gear back together so I don't lose everything. It is handy. They give you these little plastic baggies with the figure so you can put the stuff into and store it, which is a nice nod so you don't lose everything. And then the other cool accessories that it comes with, which you use in conjunction with his weaponry. Oh, whoops, I left one of the large piping out. Now I hope I brought them all with me because there is a couple of bits I was messing around with trying to figure out how to go. So it comes with another baggie, which is this one, which is a whole bunch of blast effects or shooting effects. Yes, I do have the one that is kind of, I'm still trying to figure it out. Again, there's no instructions with these, so it is a little bit kind of paint by numbers, see which thing sticks and which looks best. So you have a small blast effect for the gun. You have a large blast effect for the gun. You have kind of a medium longer blast effect for the gun. Now these go on both guns. This is the only one I think it doesn't really go on this weapon too much because of the design at the front, but you have this kind of smoking gun barrel effect. It looks better on the other weapon. And the other weapon, I will say, is kind of interesting because it actually has two ports that you can plug stuff into. So if you want to to look like it's firing from down here, you can, or if it's firing from the main barrel itself, you can do that. So it looks like it's charging up or there's just steam coming out after firing. Now the other one that it comes with is this two-piece one. I'm still trying to figure out if it is actually two-piece because the only way I can seem to get it to kind of go together, it looks like it's supposed to be like some sort of arc blast or lightning blast, but it doesn't fit too well into the weapons. Like if you have it without this piece, you can fit it in no bother and you have a little bit of an arc blast, but this piece I've been trying to figure it out how it goes together because it seems to, maybe it does this, when you push the peg through, it doesn't have a lot of clearance, so it kind of really doesn't stick too well into the weapon. And I'm not sure if you can see this on screen, but there's sort of an indent, so I'm assuming it's supposed to sit into it in a certain way and gives it a little bit extra room for you to plug it into, but it just doesn't seem to want to work the way it needs to. It's probably the best I can get it. So it has this kind of arc blast type thing, and as you can see, it just falls off the peg. Again, I'm not sure if you can see it too well. So when this off, you have a good length of peg. Maybe if they had made this a little bit longer, it would make sense, so that when you do have this on it, you get more clearance. And it doesn't seem to fit too well on the other gun either. Like, you can put the arc piece on, no bother, and it will fit on it, so you can make it look like it's an arc, some sort of arc gun or rail gun or something along those lines. But I will throw his backpack on. So this is the way I have mine set up. So I have it, I didn't want to do it with the piping just coming out that way and just lining up to his hand. I used the extra lead or the extra long cable so it can wrap kind of around, and you can hold it and have it underslung. Sorry, I'm probably doing this off screen, but have it kind of so it kind of goes under and around for the figure, so it looks like he has that. And then where is it? Doing one of the blast effects. So you just plug in one of the blast effects, make it look like he's firing his gun or getting ready to fire the gun, whichever way you want to do it, which is pretty cool. So I will run down the articulation. So I just want to do a scale comparison, and then I'm going to run down his articulation. So he is around 6.5, maybe just over the 6-inch mark with the helmet on, depending on which head you have on and which figure you have. I'm assuming it is supposed to be a 1/12 scale line, so it should be in scale with stuff like your G.I. Joe Classifieds. You can see he's a little bit taller but he does scale quite nicely with Destro there. If I put him exactly side by side, I might get a better scale comparison. So he does have a small bit of a head, not much, but he is in scale with the classified figures. So bear with me a moment while I just get things set up for his articulation. So I have his backpack removed. It's easier to do without the backpack, just so I can showcase. I'm actually going to slip this off as well, because it'll just probably fall down. It doesn't hold in, it just sits in place. It doesn't actually lock in place or anything like that. So head is on a double ball joint. So you have ball joint in the head at the base of the neck, then you have a neck swivel and a joint in the base of the neck, so you get some good range of movement up and down. The helmet, depending on which head you have on, you get some good tilt side to side. I do love this Red Shadow helmet. As far as I know, the other figures that use this body come with a version of it as well. So the one with black and red trim has the black version helmet, and then the heavy support guy comes with a green version of this helmet, but with the same logos and stuff. He does have waist swivel. He has ab crunch. He does have a soft kind of pliable material for his skirt piece, so it does hinder the movement a tiny bit, but not by much. So he can kick forward, he can kick out to the side. There is a thigh swivel, which is super tight on mine. And get one of them to move. It is there. I can see it. You can even see it there. I just can't get it to move on mine. It is double jointed knees, so you can get a good range of movement. Is there a boot cut? There is no boot cut, even though it looks like it is a separate piece, but there is no boot cut. At least it doesn't appear to be on mine. There is peg holes on the bottom of the feet. He does actually have threaded boot treads, unlike some of, like, for example, the classified figures. They do have it just on the edges, but not on the center, where he has a full boot tread, which is kind of nice. He does have jointed arms to go out that much. He does have a bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows, and you can get a good range of movement on that. And then depending on which hand you have in, there is a hinge on the hand. So for example, this one has the forward and back, whereas the trigger finger hand has the up and down kind of movement. There is butterfly joints, as far as I'm aware, inside this, but because of this kind of, it's not soft goods, but it's that pliable material over it, you can't really see them, but he does have a butterfly joint. Now, the one thing I will say that I would watch out for is in regard to storage. So for the cables, I would be wary about storing them where you store them, because over time these sort of kind of gummy material stuff can deteriorate, so just be careful with that. And similar with soft goods, soft material like this, they can pick up that kind of molding kind of stuff. In fact, I will get an example of it if I can. Bear with me a moment. So this is what I mean. Here is my poor classics New Adventure Skeletor, and you can see it's that kind of pliable material and has this kind of once I kind of mold lines on it or something along those lines. I need to get that fixed and sorted. But he has, or not mold lines, but some sort of black mold growing on him, so it's not the nicest of stuff. And again, it's down to where storage, if they're in a kind of damp area, this stuff kind of gets really damaged. So just be careful where you're storing this thing. If it's in warm, dry spot, he should be fine, but just over time, just be wary of where you're planning on storing or displaying your figures. Even direct sunlight might have a nasty effect on that material. It might become brittle over time, because I know stuff like silicone or latex sort of type of materials, if they're left in the sun, they'll dry out, they'll become brittle, and then it'll just break. So just something to be wary of in regards of the storage and display. So overall though, I know it sounds negative, so negative, and then it's going, oh yes, he's really good. It is a really good figure. I I do recommend picking them up. There's a huge amount of figures in the line. They're actually doing some mega size figures as well, which are coming, I think, later in this year. Unfortunately, as I said, one of the main downsides of this particular line for us in Europe is you have to order it through the US, and it's so far as I can see, the only way of getting these figures, which means you pay a premium. Well, not so much a premium, but you pay extra over the top for importing and all that. And with the current climate at the time of this recording, that could get a lot worse in regards prices and importing stuff in. So just be wary of that overall. But he is a good figure. I do recommend picking him up. I know they have a guy that's similar to Baron Ironblood as well in the works, or he came out. Now, these are the same folks that did the Eagle Force Returns, and they did 4-inch scale figures similar to these in this kind of vein as well. And they hopefully with this new deal that they have with Bigbadtoystore, that with these being exclusive, they might be able to bring back some of those previous Eagle Force Returns figures in the 4-inch scale as well, because I really would love to have gotten those. I did have them pre-ordered, but at the time when they came out and they dropped, I couldn't afford them, so I had to cancel the pre-orders on them, and then they just haven't come back. And if you go on to places like eBay, third-party seller stuff, they're looking for astronomical prices for them. So hopefully with this deal that Bigbadtoystore has, that they'll be able to do something together and bring back some of those figures. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here. Hopefully you enjoyed me waffling on enough about this stuff. And as I said, it is a cool figure with a lot of accessories, so just be wary. There's quite a lot of accessories, and that goes across the board for all the other figures. They seem to be fairly doubling down on the amount of accessories, even though most of them you can't be wielded all at the same time, but it gives you lots of options, especially for army builders making units of these guys with different weaponry loadouts and stuff like that and so on. So there you go. Good figure. I will put a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and again, I hope you enjoy your day, and please hit that like, comment and subscribe. Cheers.